does that even mean, Bowers game?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review, another special Kickstarter review. And today I'm very excited to check out Mystic Scrolls from Draw Lab Entertainment. This is for 2 to 4 players. Ages 12 plus, it'll take you about 15 minutes to play. It's coming to a Kickstarter near you. And in Mystic Scrolls, you're going to be taking control of an asymmetrical wizard. You're going to be chucking dice, trying to acquire spells, and kill all of your fellow wizards in this fast-paced dice-rolling game. It's a family-weight game, but is it good? Let's open it up, and I'll tell you what I think about it. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Mystic Scrolls. So before I get started, I do want to mention this is the promotional copy I have in front of me. So take everything you see here with a grain of salt. So in Mystic Scrolls, you're going to be taking control of one of 4 different wizards and getting into a fast-paced dice-rolling wizarding battle, trying to complete your spells, acquire more spells, and in the end, kill all of your opponents before they can kill you. This game has a little bit of an asymmetrical feel, as all 4 of the different wizards will have slight variations in what they can do or what they're better at doing. But let's go over the components, then we'll get into the gameplay. So first we have our handy dandy rule booklet, which is actually on my tablet, which I shoot on. It's a PDF, and it's pretty well done. I wish there's a couple areas where I wish they would have just extended a little bit more on how different things work. A mock play turn would have been good too, an example, but overall it's a well done rule booklet. It should have you up and running pretty quickly. Next, you're going to have your character sheet right in front of you. This is just where you're going to be keeping track of your health. You start at 35. You can go all the way up to 40 because healing is going to be a big aspect of this game, and it has some nice artwork on it. Next, you're going to start with 3 player cards in front of you, or actually to the left of you. I think this is what they say to do, but it doesn't really matter. You're going to have 3 player cards very close to you, and each character is going to have different player cards. So we'll go over what all 4 of the different wizards, what their kind of quirk is. So I have Albus. He's actually my favorite one. He's going to be rolling this blue die pretty routinely. He's not quite in control of his magic, so he might do more damage, he might do less damage, and he's a lot of fun to play with for that aspect because you're going to be rolling dice a lot. Well, you're going to be rolling the blue dice a lot. Next, you have Celestina. She's a little bit boring because she's well-balanced. And well-balanced, get out of here. Nobody wants well-balanced. Next, you have, what is her name? Her name is Eleanor, and she's all about dealing that damage. So she has this special card right here, which is going to do 3 damage and 1 damage per number you have right here. So, for instance, if you were to complete this spell right here, and you were to complete this spell right here, you would have 1, 2, you'd be dealing 2 damage. If you also completed, say, this spell right here, you'd be having 3 damage, you would be having 6 damage, and then 1, 2, 3, you'd be doing 9 damage. So the more spells you complete on your turn when you complete this spell, the more damage you're going to deal. On the flip side of that, we also have Paravel over here, who has the same ability, but he has the ability with healing, so he's going to be able to heal himself quite a good deal. Now, you're going to start off with 3 spells, but there will also be 1 scroll in the middle of the table that everyone is going to be competing to try and learn as well. And this is going to be random. You're going to have a big old deck of scrolls right there. So, for instance, this one will allow you to do 3 damage and also heal 4 too, and it has a 1 up in the corner. Now you may notice that this looks very similar, but it is slightly different because this is shaded in right here. This is the purchasing cost. So if you want to purchase this scroll, and only one person is going to be able to purchase this particular scroll, you are going to have all 5 of your dice completely perfect like that. Once you purchase the scroll and it's back in front of you, you'll only have to complete these 3 parts, but when you want to purchase it, you're going to need to do all 5 of those. Next, you're going to have a whole bunch of custom dice. There's like 50 or something in here. Boatload of dice. Really, they're 6-sided. They're just regular 6-sided dice, but they have weird faces on them because the faces are going to correspond with the different things on the spell cards. But other than that, they are your typical 6-sided dice. So how does the game work? Well, we'll run you through a phase. Everyone's going to start with 5 dice, and then you're going to say 1, 2, 3, go. And everyone is going to be rolling fast and frantically trying to complete spells. And you're just going to be doing this all at the same time, just as fast as you can. So how this works is you can save as many or as few dice as you want. So you can just say, I don't like any 5 of these dice, I'm just going to complete re-rolling. Or you can say, all right, I'm going to hold on to these 2, put them here, then re-roll these 3. But when you want to complete a spell, you have to make sure you place all your dice on there at the same time. So right now I might say, oh yeah, I've got this 1 blue. I'm just going to go ahead and drop that right there and this red one right there. And now I only have 3 dice left. That's a problem. So what I do is I grab 2 more dice out of the center and I immediately roll them and I rinse, wash, and repeat. So I'm going to be trying to roll as fast as I can. So when does the round end, you may be asking? The round ends when someone is trying to grab dice out of the middle and they can't go back up to 5 dice, or when someone completes and purchases the spell in the middle, at which point that person yells stop. Once you yell stop, the round is over. Put all your unused dice back in the middle, you're not going to use them, and then simultaneously you're going to go to the next phase, which is the casting phase. So first, you're going to cast any spells that are going to heal you. So you will heal yourself first up to 40, you can't go over 40, and then everyone is going to be dealing damage to the player on their right. So you always have to be cognizant of what the player on your right is doing. Are they healing this round? Are they doing damage this round? Especially as you get closer to death. With my particular character, let's see what I would do. I would have to roll the dice right now. 1 through 3, I do 1 damage. I have a 5 though, so I deal 3 damage. So that is pretty cool as well. Also, with some spells like this that have double sides on it, you only pick one of those spells. So for instance, this one right here, I could either add 1 to all my blue dice rolls, or I could do damage. So it gives you a little bit of choices there. Anywho, the person who got the spell is going to put the spell in front of them. They'll actually cast that spell this round if that's how the round ended, and that stays in front of you. Once everyone has healed themselves and passed around their damage, if the card in the center is still there, you discard it and you get a new card. And if it's not there, then you get a new card and you rinse, wash, and repeat. So let's go over some of the magic scroll spells in there. But anywho, you go until everyone has died. So for instance, this one's a fun one. Dice of Death. If you roll a 4 through 6, you're going to do 7 damage. But if you don't, you're going to do 2 to yourself and 2 to the person on your right. This one is a pick your own adventure game. Well, not pick your own adventure. You can do 3 damage or you get 2. This one is a lot of fun. You roll 7 dice and you cast spells. So for instance, if you have a lot of cheap spells, that's a really good one to have as well. Straight up for damage. This one, boom, 7 damage, but it's going to cost you 5. You're dropping a meteor on them. Chain Lightning, that's going to do 5 damage. But you're going to have a bunch of different cards that you'll be able to mix in there and acquire as you progress through the game. But the last wizard standing will be the winner of Mystic Scrolls, and that, in a nutshell, is how the game is played. Alrighty then, Mystic Scrolls from Draw Lab Entertainment. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be everybody for a couple different reasons. 2 to 4 players, very restricted player count. And with this game, I really don't see why you couldn't have more players. I know there's player elimination, which might be the reason why, but I would like to see it at a higher player count because, spoiler, I really enjoyed the game. Also, there's asymmetrical characters, and I like that, and I appreciate that, and I feel like that adds a little bit to the game, but I wish they were just a little bit more asymmetrical. I wish each one had just a little bit more of a quirk. It's not a huge deal, but I just wanted a little bit more asymmetrical. Also, there's scrolls in the middle. I love the concept of the scrolls, how you can get different scrolls and they'll do different things and they'll be yours and just yours. I wish they were all unique. There's a lot. There's a good variety here, so don't misunderstand me here. There's a good variety of cards down here, but I wish they were all unique. I wish some just did a little bit more interesting things, like things that really spiced it up and really gave your particular character a unique ability that no one else had. I would like to see that in the future for sure. I also wasn't the biggest fan of how the damage is dealt. You just deal damage to the person on your right. I wish maybe you could get to choose that. Obviously, you can house rule that, no problem at all. But it is something that I did want to mention. There's player elimination in the game, but that didn't bug me at all because A, I like player elimination, and B, the game does go by so quickly that it's not a big deal. The rounds can end ridiculously quick, especially if someone's going for the card in the middle, but, I mean, that's not a big deal at all either. Moving on to the pros, I can't really poke too many holes in Mystic Scrolls. I really enjoyed this game, and everybody I played it with really enjoyed this game. So why did we like the game? First and foremost, the artwork is absolutely gorgeous, as you could tell from the middle part. It's just beautiful, gorgeous artwork. Also, it's asymmetrical. This game could have been incredibly lazy and done nothing asymmetrical, but they put that in there, and I appreciate that. I appreciate when game makers make asymmetrical games, even if they're just dipping their toe into the asymmetrical water. Also, I like the variety of spells in the middle of the table. I complain that I wanted more, but that's because I like the game and I just want more. But there is a good deal of spells in the middle of the table that will do different things. And I also like how each character does play a little bit differently, so you need to be paying attention to what the player on your left is going to be doing. If they're just healing like crazy this round, you can just go buck wild and try and do all the damage that you want. I like how there's 2 different win conditions or 2 different end round conditions where either you run out of dice or you're going for the card in the middle. I enjoy that. I like the fact that you never know when the round is going to end, especially because you're so fast and you're frantic and you're like, oh, I need this and I need that. And I like, so you would think the obvious strategy would be to get a bunch of the cool cards from the middle of the table and put them out in front of you. And I really enjoy doing that. That's my strategy in like King of Tokyo. I love to have just a plethora of cards to pick from. But it also makes it a lot more difficult because you're like, oh no, which card do I want to go for? Which card do I need to do? And it's fast and it's frantic and it's crazy and it's quick. And I feel like it's a great game night filler game if you hit 2 to 4 players. That's my main caveat with this, is the 2 to 4 player count. Great filler game for game night. It's a great family weight game. It says ages 12 plus. Ignore that. I think you'd easily teach this to an 8 or 9-year-old. Granted, you're probably going to be better at them though, but that's a minor nitpick. Just a really solid game. One I highly recommend if you're in the market for a lightweight filler game, a family game that plays 2 to 4 players. That is Mystic Scrolls from Draw Lab Entertainment. I really like this game, and I think it could just be raised even more with more cool stuff added. But still, as it stands right now, one I highly recommend. Mystic Scrolls, Draw Lab Entertainment. If it looks like it might be your cup of tea, be sure to check out that Kickstarter link down below. And in the comments below, let me know if you could have a magical spell to do one thing, and only one thing, that would not make you rich. That's the caveat. It cannot make you rich. What would you do? For me personally, I think it would... it can't make you rich in any way, shape, or form. I think it would turn out the lights. That'd just be a cool trick. I don't know. That's terrible. I'm the worst magician ever. What would your magical ability be? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. Oh, wait. It'd cook food. That'd be awesome. It would immediately cook food. That'd be great.